Jimmy Holiday and Cooper McDonald, two other guys that we brought in as well. Obviously, Major was before all those guys, and the other two ended up signing shortly thereafter. We'll start with Jimmy Holiday. And these are all photos from this past weekend, so they're already in their Chiefs uniforms and whatnot. So this is Jimmy Holiday, transfer from Tennessee. And this is one thing nowadays. You have to kind of all these guys are coming from multiple different schools. So, but Jimmy Holiday transferred from Tennessee to Western Kentucky, your neck of the woods, somewhat, your neck of the woods, and then La Tech. So yeah, Jimmy Holiday, 6 foot, 205 pounds, thickly built guy, has the necessary size to contribute as a return specialist and a slot receiver in the NFL. At his pro day ahead of the 2025 draft, ran a 4.4 and posted a 36.5 vertical jump and a 123-inch broad jump. So that was kind of his numbers. Big thing with him, you can see in his stats here. If you look at his last year at La Tech, that was where you see they kind of brought him a little different. They started using him more like a gadget kind of guy, like a McCole Hardman type. I mean, doing jet sweeps with him, bringing motion him to the backfield, just a lot of quick screens. Kind of utilize him the way we would utilize McCole Hardman type, but they use it a lot. Obviously, 48 carries last year, 39 catches. But another guy, and I'm kind of seeing a common theme here, is they're bringing a lot of guys who not only return the ball, but also did stuff offensively and defensively. But like these guys all have the ability to do that. And obviously, we talk about Major has the ability to be a punt return guy, and then you see Jimmy Holiday's kick return here. But yeah, what do you make of this? Just kind of, I don't know if you watched any highlights of his, but what do you make of the Jimmy Holiday edition, JD?
Like you said, I think the Chiefs are trying to find people that they could utilize, especially with the type of offense that we run. And so, versatility is key, especially for what we do. He's going to fit right in. And so when you sit there and you watch him, I don't know what the offense was down at La Tech. I'm not quite sure. But still looks like he was, somewhat productive, in I guess limited role or however they, ran things. Like I said, I don't quite know what the basis was offensively. But, they had to find something in this guy. They seen something in him to retain him. And so these things just don't happen. They don't get guys just because, the guy is a nice guy. They get him because he's very talented. Same thing with Major. Major brought a lot to the table. That's why they was able to retain him. I think same for Jimmy Holiday as well. So I think they can see him being a fit with the Chiefs and be able to help out. Same thing we was talking about Major. But look, they know immediately, like, this guy fits exactly what we're going to do. Imagine that, man. First time you come in, you make a check, you make a play. That's how you make right there. You make a mark immediately. So I don't know what Jimmy did as far as like in practice to make a mark, but he did something to at least alert them to sign him. So I haven't seen his highlights though, Marcus. I haven't. I watched a Major, so I kind of seen exactly what he can do, but I don't know anything about Jimmy. But I'm gonna have to go check him out though.
Actually, our friend Jared Sapp at Arrowhead Pride actually put a little play thing together of him a couple days ago. Let me see if I can pull it up. Don't want to get the ESPN breathing down our neck with the copyright strike. Let's see.
They'll be okay.
So you see the McCole Hardman type of plays they're kind of running for him. That's why he was running. That's why he had so many carries last year, because they were doing a lot of that type of stuff with him.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Good. Nice little, little reverses. Come in. He's making a guy miss. It's good vision. Anticipation, making the cut. Do you know if it's running a lot of spread? Okay.
Yeah, La Tech. Yeah. Very, very spread heavy offense.
Okay. So it might have been a reason for like maybe just the 39 catches, because a lot of people they distribute the ball to a lot of different players.
Yeah. So obviously you bring a guy like that in. He obviously has shown that he can play in an offense like that. Now utilize him the way we might want to utilize him. So that's something for him. And also too, I read that the reason why they gave him, obviously I'm sure he did something at the practice where they're like, yeah, we like him. But they got word, because we actually had one of the earlier mini camps of all NFL teams. And we actually got word that the Giants that he was invited to the Giants mini camp shortly thereafter. And they were scared that he would flash in their mini camp. So they ended up giving him a contract so he wouldn't leave the team. So that was the, guess that's an advantage of having rookie mini camp so early. You can do that kind of thing if you know a guy's invited to another mini camp. So
yeah, Yeah, that's good. It's good to get the guys in here, fairly easy. I think, man, when I got drafted, I think we were right up there. Like a day or two after we got drafted, like immediately I was up there. So kind of just stayed. Immediately fall right into it. But talking about Jimmy, yeah, just the highlights that he was able to show the few bits. That's exactly what we do. That's exactly what we require for our wide receivers to do a lot of those, reverses and get the ball in the hands of a playmaker, get out in space, and then make plays. So it'd be good to come in and see some competition against these other guys. So yeah, it's good for him.
Yeah, and I think the fact that they liked him enough to hey, we don't want him to go to New York Giants rookie minicamp because they'll probably sign him based on what we're seeing. So it's okay, let's bring him in. So you gotta love that as well.
Well, also too, let me say this: sometimes you might see a guy come in and he could be a diamond in the rough. He could be a late bloomer, and so if you see his potential, there's a lot of teams that do take chances on guys that they do see potential in and saying like, hey man, listen, he might not did a whole lot in college, but when he comes up here with the things that we do, we feel like he's can work right into our entire culture. And I think that's why they probably brought Jimmy in, thinking the exact same thing. So that's good. That's good.
Yep.
Yeah.
So Major Williams, we talked a lot about him tonight, but yeah, he flashed big time. The returns, TFLs, 10 TFLs, 7.5 last year, 5 the previous year before that. Pass breakups, 15, 2022, 23, 5 and 23, 24, 6 and 24, 25. Just an all-around beast, defensive dynamo, I would say. And you talk about how he tested on top of his stats and numbers. I do think we got a special one. 100%. A guy who just was out there playing. Making checks out there, just playing with confidence. And obviously, a lot of guys going to those camps, especially invite guys, probably nervous as heck. It obviously didn't faze him, and the coaches obviously noticed that right away and gave him a contract the first day of camp. So, tells you a lot about the kid.
Yeah. No, shoot, we just did a whole segment with him, man. Shoot, what is there not to love about him? Honestly, they love him, and I think they love everything about him. I'm sure what we just got to see, the coaches got to experience for those 3 days that they had him up there, and so that's the reason they signed him. Like, look, man, we got to sign this guy because he is everything that we want in a player. Okay, he's fast, he makes reads, he has high IQ, he makes plays. But also, too, when you talk about his personality and his character, that's high class. We just saw it. We see the confidence, and it exudes out of him. So when we see these things, the Chiefs, for him, it's an easy call. It's an easy call. So I think they would just rush it to the table like, hey, man, listen, we want to go ahead and sign you. We knew what we had when we first got you, but now we know for sure. And so I always talk about like these stories. You find your way to places and getting opportunities. And like he said, man, it's looked like destiny. Looked like destiny. So all the people that he was just connected to, but also to just his humility that he has and his mindset. And so I'm happy for him. Very happy for him. So.
And also, too, I got on top of his story and the hunger that he obviously has, a guy like that, right, who, went to a D1, went to a UVA, and then, had to kind of, bring it back, right, go to community college and go to, Carson-Newman. Obviously, dealing with a lot, right, and being the underdog, going day 3, talking to the Chiefs on day 3, say, hey, we have 3 7th-round picks. We'll probably draft you with one of them. Chiefs end up trading 2 of them to trade up in the 7th round to get. Shit happens, right? And then they don't draft them. Okay, then UDFA comes, right? They sign a bunch of guys. I'm not one of the guys you signed, but you told me you were going to draft me in round 7. But I'm not one of the guys you signed. But no, we're going to give you an invite to camp. Okay. So to a guy like that, it's like, okay, you're giving me more of a kind of chip in my shoulder to earn this thing. And day 1, boom, does it. I just love that because so many people, there's so many different, a lot of people, different people in the world, mentalities, right? Some mentalities be like, nah, you promised me you draft me, you didn't draft me. Like, I mean, a training camp invite, plenty of other teams out there, I can go, as a training camp invite. But no, didn't phase him. He comes day one, dominates, and gets a contract. Boom. I love that he seized it, man. I just, there's something about that. I just love he just seized it.
Well, I say this, yes, for sure. But if any player had that sense, I think it'd be a mistake. And I said this before. I forgot it was only 276 guys got drafted. I think it was 276, 27, whatever the number is. It's a privilege, a high honor, to get drafted. You know how many guys want to be drafted in the NFL? I mean, we're talking about all the schools, like a Carson-Newman, like he came from, La Tech, Tennessee, all the major schools, Power Fives, Division II, Division III, NAI. I mean, you name it. There's a ton of guys out there, thousands, hundreds of thousands, matter of fact. And to be one of that 276, not only that, Marcus, to be a undrafted free agent to get on the team, to be pulled in, it's a privilege. It doesn't happen a lot. It just doesn't. There's a ton of talent out here. But somehow the guys that found themselves getting called, were able to get on the team, always should consider themselves fortunate, okay? It's a blessing. That's an absolute blessing. And so when we sit there, we talk about these things, and it is. It's God's plan, and the guys that stayed, hard on the faith and, that, expecting these things to get there, because they put in the hard work. And sometimes some roads it may be a longer road to get there. It may be a longer road to get to some of these places to get on the team. But it is absolutely a privilege, absolutely a privilege. Not to mention getting called by the Kansas City Chiefs. This ain't like getting called from who was the worst team in the league last year?
Panthers, Browns.
Getting called from one of them two. Now you're like, yeah, shoot. Or, back in the day, I didn't want to go to like Green Bay or the Bills because, the code, when I got drafted. But that I mean, you just got to consider yourself fortunate, man. You have to. So he said, I can't wait to see you guys see him play. I can't wait either, Trap Hustle. Can't wait either. So I can tell you, man, y'all, his peoples, man, y'all proud of you, man. We proud for you. We proud for you. We know he put in some major work, pun intended, put in some major work to get where he is, man. And so highly favored, man. That's a beautiful thing. So, and him or whoever it is, man, I mean, it is without a doubt, man, it's a blessing to be able to get in that position, to get on a team and then show what you can do. Because here's another reality. I don't think people realize this either. There's guys get drafted that stay on the team. Guys get drafted, get cut. Seen it plenty of times. It happens. Shoot, it's been first round, second round, third rounders. It might be out for a year and they get like, oh man, they made a mistake and he's gone 1 or 2 years. Sometimes they have a longer leash because they've invested the money into a guy, but it does happen. These things do happen. The NFL's never said that we need somebody. They haven't. They never been hurting to get players in. You know what I mean? There's going to be tons of guys trying to knock on the NFL door every year. Doom, 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 let me in. And the NFL's like, no, sir. Sorry. Not going to happen. So it's a fortunate, man, opportunity, man, for Major, for all these other guys. And so like his sis was sitting there saying, it's perseverance. It's going to be some hard nights, some hard days that everybody has to lay in there. There's going to be times that you want to quit. There's going to be times that you're going to have some struggle. The thing is, you got to work through all of it. Every single thing. Okay? Yeah, you might be a little upset. Okay? And I know I'm kind of talking a little bit on this. But, hey, man, you got to keep going. In your mind, you got to keep having the confidence. You got to keep knowing, hey, look, I don't put this time in and day out. The blood, sweat, and tears, that's what it takes, man. You know this, man. You don't play ball before. Shoot, you know how it is. You know what those dog days of summer's like. You know what I'm saying? Shoot. So.
All your buddies are out hanging out with chicks, going out, having good times. You're and miss 2-3 days. Sleeping to wake up in an hour to go back to the weight room. I know.
Right.
It's a lot of those days.
I gotta get this another workout in. What you got to, man? I gotta get this workout in, man.
Yeah,
I'll let you after that or something, man. And then after that, shoot.
I can't be eating and drinking all that during the season, my man.
That's right. That's right. Trap Hustle, he said, coming out of Fort Myers, we all look up to Deion Sanders primetime. I forgot he's from Fort Myers. That's right. That's right.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. So, hey, it must be something in the water down there, man, with speed there.
Must be. overall talent, man, coming from down there.
It is.
One thing that we didn't really showcase about Major Williams, obviously 6'1", 190, 4'3", 40, which I got to say, a lot of the Chiefs websites I've seen were saying he ran a 4.4 his pro day, he ran a 4.32, but whatever, they're going to have to update that. But on our end, we got that right, 4.3, 40, 37-inch vertical, 20 reps on 225 pounds, with 20 reps on 225.
Are you kidding?
No.
20 reps?
I mean, he's a physical specimen, man.
Yeah, man. He's throwing 225 up more than some linemen. I'm telling you.
I know. we talked about some of these guys winning the first runway. It was like 16 and they're 300 pounds.
Yeah. See, Mikey said, we got it. Yeah, it's in the water. It's in the water down there. Dude, y'all need a bottle. Hey, bottle it. Okay? Y'all bottle that joker up and start selling it to folks. All right? Tell them they got some in Fort Myers.
Yeah. 37-inch vertical, 125-inch broad jump, 4.08 second short shuttle, and then 6.9 three-cone time. So, yeah, he's elite athleticism and also very friendly and awesome to talk to.
Oh, yeah.
And so our last person that we signed, and I think this round out to the 90-man for right now. I think we still have some movement going around, but the 90-man is not complete yet. But this is the latest ads. So the last guy from rookie minicamp was Cooper McDonald. Spent the 2022 and 2023 seasons at San Diego State after 2 years at the University of Washington. He appeared in 24 games with the Aztecs, recording 84 total tackles, 8.5 for loss, 3.5 sacks, 5 passes defended, and 2 fumble recoveries. Appeared in 15 games with the Huskies, recording 28 tackles, 6 for loss, 1.5 sacks, and a pass defended. In his lone season with TCU, McDonald appeared in 9 games with 25 total tackles, 4 tackles for loss, 3 sacks, 1 pass defended, and 1 forced fumble. Man stands at 6'2", 235 pounds. Pretty much prototypical linebacker size and speed. Ran a 4.7, 40. Outside backer, but it's a special teamer, it looks like. You can never have enough of these type of guys, right, JD, going into the 90-man?
Yeah, no. Sure. You need, these guys like this, man, to play special teams, headhunters. And so, it looks like he looks like a solid player, looking at his stats, like you said, 4.7, 4.8, somewhere around there. And maybe on film, he looks a little bit faster than that. I'm going to check him out too, to see how he looked. You get to check his film out?
Yeah. From what I read from a lot of the draft experts, he tested poorly, but he plays faster than the way he tested. So he's actually a pretty decent coverage. His coverage ability is better than the way it would look based on looking at his numbers here, 4.78. Or I think 4.87 was his high. So, yeah, he tested worse than the way he played. So, but again, that's also college, not the NFL. You gotta guard some guys out there, Justice Hill, those types, Bashar Smith type of guys, but all over the place.
Yeah, that's for sure. And 4.8, shoot, you got guys running by you all day.
Yeah.
So what was that? That's who it was. Bashar Smith. Okay, Isaiah Pacheco. That's who it was, right?
Yeah. So definitely different types of guys will be going up against in the NFL, but solid nonetheless. But
we kept him for a reason, like you said. We kept him for a reason, for sure.
For sure.
And that probably showed up on film, Marcus. We sitting there saying he plays faster on, of course, as opposed to testing. Some guys just don't test that well, or it looks like he's slow and 4.8. Then you see him out there on the field, you're like, dang God. You start looking at the clock, hey, that can't be right.
Yeah,
he's all over the place. So Nah,
It's like a smart kid in the class, but he doesn't test well. He's not a good test. The pressure gets him a little bit. But during class, he can answer all the questions in the world. But then when he gets to test time, he doesn't know what he's talking about.
Yeah.
So
Cooper McDonald.
Yeah, you'll never forget that name. Cooper McDonald. Actually, all three of those names: Major Williams, Jimmy Holiday, Cooper McDonald. They all sound like characters in a movie. I mean, these are all like the made up names, really.
Yeah. Stars. Major Williams.
Yeah, like stage names. Yeah, stage names.
Yeah. Cooper McDonald. Somebody said he's a kid of Norm McDonald. He laughed at it, Richie and Hudson Rose. I don't think he is. I can't even do it. Norm McDonald.
Yeah, his dry voice. Yeah, I can't do it. Yeah. Tasia does a pretty good impression of Norm McDonald. Actually, yeah. Tasia's actually quite the impressionist. Actually, he does a lot of good impressions. So yeah, those are the newest additions, and you guys got to meet one of them tonight. So I hope you guys enjoyed that. Hi everybody, thanks for watching. Subscribe here to get the latest from the show. Also, be sure to check out the best clips from Chief Concerns. And if you prefer to listen to the show, subscribe and follow us on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and anywhere else you get your podcasts.